Back to the action here at Whilton Mill, and it's the Junior Minimoto rookies next on the circuit. Ollie Walker and Emmanuel Brinton on the front row with Mason Johnson and Sean Abel on row 2. Ryan Hitchcock beside the new boy, Evan Belford, another rookie, Ben Taylor on P7, and two more to add to the list, Ben Smith and Jack Kish, who will share row 6 for their first time of asking in 2015. We wait for the lights to go, and it's going to be a strong start from the front for Ollie Walker. He has got a good getaway. Oh, Sean Abel's getting a terrible start. He's lost 2 places already as Hitchcock and Belford double time him left and right and move up into 4th and 5th position. It looks to me as though Belford has got the move up into P4 as they head down the stretch towards Christmas Corner. Around the outside though, Ryan Hitchcock is going to get there before the braking zone. So up into P4 goes Hitchcock. Good move, but out in front it's Ollie Walker.
Race leader and championship leader Ollie Walker, cracking start. Mason Johnson through to second place. Probably the best we've seen from Mason potentially since the opening round when he won 2 races that day, the non-televised races. He crashed out in the televised race, of course. And Emmanuel Brinton looking very racy as well there in 3rd, and these 3 got a bit of a gap back to the man in 4th, but that's a bit of a gap from 1st to 2nd, isn't it? Ollie Walker out front, championship leader, looking to consolidate his championship lead and put himself right in contention for the championship before the season's over.
Well, Emmanuel Brinton will be festering a little bit down in 3rd position. Started on the front row, of course, and Mason Johnson has beaten him away quite valiantly there, so he's going to want to fight back very quickly. Looks like we got a good battle in the midfield as well. This is Hitchcock, Belford and Abel just outside the top 3, and Abel down to 6th position off the start from the 2nd row. Will be wanting to deal with Hitchcock and Belford fairly early on in this race and pull away to try and close up on the podium runners once again. There is Mason Johnson, 2nd position in the bright green bike. And he is there looking good after the first 2 races of the season that he won. He's had a difficult season, but now he is getting back up to the form we were used to seeing in the early stages.
Yep, Mason, obviously a high-quality rider. He's going to have a big future in the sport. Emmanuel Brinton there in 3rd place, 6th in the championship after round 5, but he has progressively got quicker and quicker and is improving as the season goes on, and that's what you want to see from the young kids, isn't it, Jake? You want to see the gradual improvement and getting better and better, and we've already seen from riders in this championship. When we were here at Whilton Mill last time, you may remember the celebrations by Corey Stainer when he got 2nd place in the Minimoto race, in the pro race. How delighted he was. It means something to them. It's very important for them to progress and get better and better and start to pick up trophies.
That's one of the things I've always found about motorcycle riders in general, though, as racers. They are much better at having fun at junior level. They know how to take an achievement for what it actually is, rather than go, oh, I finished 3rd position, what a terrible result. No, look at what you've managed to do. You've come in the top 3 in a major national championship race. You should be proud, you should be happy, and that's something that motorcycle racers in particular have always been very good at. Emmanuel Brinton almost got held up there. He only lost a couple of bike lengths there, but I tell you, his rate of development this year has been spectacular. It's great to see Brinton up at the front, challenging the Walkers and Johnsons of this world.
It is, as you say, through the right-hander there, down at Ashby. Lost a little bit of time behind the back markers. Here come the rest of them. That's Ryan Hitchcock now trying to negotiate the back marker. Gets by. Here comes Belford on the 52. Has he got him down the inside? He has. Evan Belford, first time in the championship, up to 4th place, and Hitchcock down to 5th.
Yeah, Hitchcock got badly bought there by the back marker. We were saying it earlier, weren't we? These races and positions are won and lost in the traffic, and he just got caught up there at the wrong moment. He had to get out of the throttle, and that's allowed Belford to get back through into 4th position. And I wouldn't be too surprised if Sean Abel managed to get the move done into 5th position before long too. He's got to try and rebuild that composure and get his momentum back again. Here comes Brinton, though, right on the tail of Mason Johnson. He's going to challenge for 2nd position before long.
Yeah, he lost a load of time down in this corner against the traffic, didn't he? Coming through the traffic. But he's got it all back clearly, so he's got a lot of pace as Emmanuel Brinton. Here comes that little battle with Hitchcock through Ashby. Looks like he's still managed to hold on out of Ashby down to Parker, the left-hander. Again, great overall shot of the circuit. Really gives you a great view of where the bikes are on the track. And it looks like Mason Johnson has pulled out 10 to 12 bike lengths here out of the shot of the camera and managed to pull away from Emmanuel Brinton and give himself a little bit of breathing room.
Well, this class is all about one thing at junior level: confidence. You have to be able to be confident in your ability and confident with the bike to be able to get the most out of it. And all the way through the season, you're learning, you're building, you're getting your ego up as a rider, because you have to have a little bit of an ego to do this sport. You have to have the knowledge and confidence in yourself to know, I can be the fastest here today. I can do this. I can win. You have to have that confidence in yourself to be able to do it. And that's how riders progress. And this man out in front, Ollie Walker, he certainly seems to have taken that on board in 2015, and he is developing beautifully.
Yeah, I think you're right, Jake. You do need that little chip on your shoulder in whatever form of motorsport you're in. I know when I used to coach the kids in karting, I used the ABC. Application, that's of your learned skills as you're coming up through the ranks. You learn things, always apply those learned skills. B is belief in yourself and your equipment, and C, control. Always be in control, never out of control. Never let the red mist descend if something goes wrong. Always stay in control at all times.
Yeah, it's interesting. The media always seems to think that it's about who wins and who crosses the line first. As a commentator, I actually get really irritated with that. I always like to watch the riders in every position. You learn so much about what they're doing, as Ollie Walker puts in a cracking fast lap there. That's proof of what I'm saying. 1 minute 4.8 there. He's developing very well through the course of the season. The media always goes on and on and on about who wins and who loses. Don't look at that. You need to look at the riders when they're in the midfield, dueling out for position for 14th, 15th. You learn a lot more about a rider then than you do when they're at the front.
Exactly, because that is when you're learning your racecraft skills. If you're in a battle for 14th to 17th place, for example, 4 riders perhaps in those positions, when you're coming out on top of that battle, you are still learning, and today it might be for 14th place, but in a year's time it may be a battle for the top 4 positions, and if you come out on top that day, you're getting the winner's trophy. That's why these races down the field are always very important.
Well, Ollie Walker has learnt one thing above all else today, and that is how to dominate. An absolute masterclass performance from Ollie Walker on the 48. He has ridden to perfection in that first race. Second position for Mason Johnson in front of the ever-improving Emmanuel Brinton. That's a real talent. If he can continue developing at that rate, I genuinely can see him in the top flight of Superbikes and MotoGP one day, because that kid is coming on very strong indeed. Fourth place for Ryan Hitchcock, beating Evan Belford, and Sean Abel rounding out the top 6 just in front of another fellow rookie, Ben Taylor. So Ollie Walker not just taking this win, but the second and third as well in the end. An amazing performance all weekend here at Whilton Mill, and from the championship leader, he's made it even bigger still. The gap now 79 points in the championship. He's pretty much got one hand on the trophy now. Mason Johnson doing his best to keep in touch. Ryan Hitchcock rounding out the top 3 at the moment, but there's still a bit of a way to go in this championship yet. Now, if you want to know how to make the perfect start in motorcycle racing, look at the man at the back of this grid. Daniel Lee shoots up from 15th on the grid to 8th place by the first corner in the Pit Bike Open and 140 classes. Charlie Nesbitt leading from the front. Earlier on, Alan caught up with him, and he told us about his recent progress in the Motul Motostar British Championship.
Yeah, the Branch GP, that was a good fight with me and Scott Daru, and then at Thruxton, I broke that record in the second race, and then come second because Taz made a little mistake and it let me through into the last chicane. So did Danny Sayers. So it was really good.
That's a young man with a big career looming in two-wheel motorsport. He's going to be a BSB rider at some point in the future, may go further than that even. He's leading here today in the Pit Bike Open class. Now we're concentrating in these highlights on the 140 class. That's Richard Holmes-Williams out front on the 126 machine. The Pit Bike Open runners go through. There's 5 in the Pit Bike Open class, 9 in the Pit Bike 140. So we concentrate on the 140 today. Through Fine Lady, a little kink in the track there, a little curb, that is Fine Lady. Up Manuel's Bank, this is James Snow on the 45. He's in the 140 class, 24 is Qualters, 144 is Lee. They're in the Pit Bike Open class, and then the 4 bike is Matthew Stringer, he's in the 140. So, bit of a mixture, but it's Richard Holmes-Williams in that 140 class who's out front, and Charlie Nesbitt who's out front, out of the picture, but out front in the Pit Bike Open class.
Yep, Nesbitt, Toms and Cook have already stretched their advantage in the Open class. We kind of expect the Opens to pull away and disappear. That's exactly what's happening with the top three. A little bit harder for Qualters and Lee to do so. Qualters trying to make his way on the inside of Snow. It's not happening there, but watch the man in third position in this queue, Daniel Lee. He's the man who went off like a rocket from the start. 15th on the grid and now up into P7 already. This is absolutely fantastic stuff, and he has gone through half the field in the shape of a couple of laps.
Yeah, it was an amazing start, wasn't it? In fact, as we see them come down into Ashby one more time, let's have a look at that start on the replay again.
Yeah, but let's watch Daniel Lee right on the very back of the grid. Watch this. That's like a rocket ship, isn't it? Absolutely catapults through the first part of the lap and into the first corner. He has to run round the outside, but he's up to 8th position in one fell swoop. That would have taken him about 3 seconds. Absolutely astonishing. We're into the last lap, and there's not much change up at the front. Charlie Nesbitt hanging on to the open victory. Richard Holmes-Williams, the fastest of the pit bike 140s. And there is the number 6 of Tom's coming through to finish up in second place behind Charlie Nesbitt. It's Max Cook who finishes up third on the road, but it's Holmes-Williams who's going to get the pit bike 140 victory behind Daniel Lee on the road. Matthew Stringer is second in class ahead of James Snow, with Henry Mostrom and Adam Bland rounding out the top 5.
You may have seen from the graphic there, Charlie Nesbitt has a 50-point lead in the pit bike open class in 140. Richard Holmes-Williams has got the championship lead back off Ben Bailey as a consequence of Bailey failing to appear at round 6. We'll be back with more from Whilton Mill after the break.